Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the University Campus Fellowship Education Podcast. I'm your host, Sister Mlenga Chungu, coming to you from the Goma Lakes of the University of Zambia. And I am here with a very dear guest who is Sister Abigail Mutelo. Sis, how are you?
I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation to come and speak to me and to our viewers.
You're most welcome.
So today we are going to be discussing a very important topic, especially for those of us that believe in our Christian values and hold on to the tenets or the Ten Commandments, of which one of them is very fundamental. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So now, as a student or as a person that is pursuing their academic journey, there are times that the school curriculum or the secular system of pursuing your academics tends to clash with the Sabbath. For instance, we have issues where students are expected to write their examinations on a Saturday or on Friday evening or even on Sunday. And we also have students that are required to attend classes and lecturers over the weekend because the workload is so bulky. We have a sister here who has had that sort of experience, and we're going to learn just a few tips and tricks and strategies on how to manage to balance the school academic obligations that are given to you as a student, and also that which you are obligated to give to God as your creator. So, Sister Abigail, how has been your academic journey been so far as a young lady that believes in observing the Sabbath?
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Linda. So I'd like to start with my first year experience. So during my first year experience, I had our test one for chemistry, which was scheduled to be written on the Sabbath. Then, coming from a background where we observe the Sabbath was something that was like, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? But I said to myself, like, okay, this is what I believe in, and because I've come here, I don't have to change. I have to maintain my my what I believe in. And I just pray to God, okay, God, if we plan that this test be written on the Sabbath, then well and good. But from now on, to write it. I'll try to rehearse with the people so that I can have maybe a makeup. When I prayed about it, I think that was Tuesday. Then lucky enough, while I was in the library on Wednesday, I just saw a notice that the test which was scheduled to be written on the Sabbath was scheduled to another day during the week. And I said, okay, this is God's working. And if maybe I had said I'll write it on the Sabbath, probably it would have changed the day. But that remaining faithful to what I believed in, I saw that God works. Yeah, so that was my first year experience about a test being scheduled on the Sabbath. Then coming to second year,
Yeah.
there was a course organic chemistry because we don't have it from River campus, so we're having our tutorials and our quizzes among them tests on the Sabbath. I tried to talk to the assistant dean, who happens to be Dr. Mtemo. She's also an Adventist. I went and explained to her that for me, I was asking if maybe I can be excused, maybe put in another group that is not going to be having the tutorials for organic chemistry on the Sabbath. But she said, no, this is not possible because you have other people from different religious backgrounds, such as Muslims and others who are maybe Sunday keepers. If we were all going to spare people based on their religious beliefs, then that's not going to be possible. So she advised me to go and see a certain tutor for organic chemistry. Then I went and talked to him. He agreed that I should be attending his tutorials on another day, which was Sunday. Then that was okay with my tutor. I explained to my tutor as well. But what happened along the way was we discovered the tutor who I thought I was in group B. It happened that I was in another group. Then it was like, okay, it's too late. But I went and told the same tutor who I now discovered this was now my tutor. He agreed. Then I would make up for the tutorials that were scheduled on the Sabbath on Sunday. Then that was okay with them. Then there was a test which was scheduled to be written on Saturday. That was test two. So Dr. As Mr. Lungu from the chemist department, he knew that others, especially the Adventists, the people who don't take tests on Saturday, he knew that fact. People try to, because we organize ourselves in groups with other people who were not for the idea of writing on the Sabbath. We went there, but we refused. Then he said, no, people are going to write on the Sabbath. Then people went and wrote. I went to church. I didn't even panic about it. I said, okay,
Mm.
if God had said, Abigail, you're going to do this, no matter what will come my way, I'll still do it. So that Saturday passed. Then people were still trying to follow up and pushing for a makeup. Then Mr. Lungu said, yes, there's going to be a makeup, but not people who missed for religious reasons. That was
I
on the
see.
Sabbath. So like I said, okay, if Abigail, this is what the department has said, that no people who missed because of religious beliefs are not going to write, then well and good, we'll still try to do what we can and also maybe try to redeem ourselves in the exam. So that was test E2 passed. Then the makeup was scheduled again on the Sabbath. They said, okay, even those people who missed for religious beliefs
Wow.
can still write the test.
Mhm.
Then I said, okay, if this test has been again rescheduled in the Sabbath, what if I go and write to today? Isn't it the same thing I would have written back then because
Exactly.
it's still the same
Yeah,
day?
yeah, yeah.
Then I just went to church. Then along my way to church, I just said text in the study group with my friends where they're saying, okay guys, I'll be going. I think yeah, it was only me from study group who missed. They said all the best. Then I just told them, all the best about what? I'm not writing the test. I said, this is your CA. I said, no. What's the difference if I didn't write it back then and I write today? Because it's still the same day that
Yeah, yeah.
this test has been scheduled on. Then he said, okay, it's okay. You stand what you believe in. Then I went to church that day passed. Then the exam came. I read the exam. The exam was so hard. So I said, I wish because that day we were writing two tests. Then I said, okay, it would have been better. I invested all my time revising psychology than wasting my time revising organic chemistry. And
Because it
this
was
is
that hard.
yeah. So after I went and read the exam, then um, when the exams were, the results were released, my first thing was to check the comments because, like, okay, we have to know, are we proceeding, are we repeating, or have we been excluded? Because during our time, a lot of students were excluded.
Okay.
Then I checked, then the first thing I saw the comment was repeated, then I said, thank God. Then I wanted to check which course am I repeating. Then I discovered organic chemist I had cleared by God's grace. So that was a
Wow.
testimony that I still have even today.
Okay, so
Afterwards,
just to catch up, you did not write one of the tests,
no, I didn't.
and you said that the examination for organic chemistry was very hard.
It was very hard.
But that's the course that you cleared.
Yes.
Well, talk about God's grace. Okay, and what happened after that?
Afterwards, my friend texted me because I informed my fellow groupmates that congratulations for those that have cleared to third year. But for me, going to be repeating a course. Actually, it was actually supplementary exam because I was supposed to sit for a supplementary exam, not repeating the course initially.
Okay.
Then they said, then I even mentioned the course that I was sitting for a supplementary exam. Then my friends were really surprised. That, how did you clear organic chemistry? They said, oh, for sure, the God that you stand for has even also fought for you. So that's a testimony that other people learn from what I stood for. Yeah.
That is a very profound and challenging testimony because you stood on what you believed, even though you knew that the potential repercussions in terms of your academic obligations and pursuits were going to be quite difficult. By the way, what program of study are you enrolled in?
Bachelor of Medicine in Surgery.
Okay, so that is one of the most difficult programs of study that we know to be around. So one might say that in order to avoid this kind of conflict, because you're attending a secular university and yet you have these needs that are demanded upon you because of your religious beliefs and affiliation. If a person said that it's better for me to just stay away from this school thing and so that I can observe the Sabbath and I can serve God with a clear conscience, what would you say to such a person?
What I would advise them is that the Bible tells us whatever your hand findeth to do, do it with Almighty. We can try to, maybe because of secular education, trying to infringe on our rights of worship because they'll say no, you're supposed to write maybe tests, attend classes on Saturday or Sunday if you're a Sunday keeper. I think this shouldn't be a threat of for us not to attend such secular educations because I believe by going there and standing for what you believe in, it can be something that can inspire somebody to follow after what you believe in. Because it's not everything that has to be straight.
Mm-hmm.
Some certain things or certain places where God places us, there are for reasons, and another reason can be to help lead somebody to Christ. So I believe we shouldn't try to isolate ourselves from attending such schools, because we can be a sermon that can try to gather one for Christ.
Wow, that is so encouraging. I think the more that you speak, the more inspired that I feel, and I believe it's the same for even our viewers. And from your testimony, it's really making me make reference to the book of Daniel and how he and his companions were found in this Babylonian system that demanded that they break a lot of God's laws. But we see that even when it was time for everyone to bow down to the image that had been created, the Hebrew boys said that they would not worship any other God apart from he himself. And I see the same resolute within you to say that you're going to make sure that you observe what God has told you to observe, even if higher authorities are telling you otherwise, even if your academic pursuits are telling you otherwise. But maybe you could just give a bit of clarity. So, as people that observe the Sabbath or Adventists, there is a misperception that we are stubborn. We just don't want to do anything on Saturday, and we want everyone else to compromise, but we don't want to compromise. We want other people to empathize with us, but we don't want to empathize with them. Could you just give a bit of clarity on what makes you so passionate and so decided to observe the Sabbath and also to just observe the law of God in general? What makes you so passionate about that?
Okay, so I'll quote one of my favorite verses that my father taught me when I was young, from 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30. The last part, which says, "Those that honor me, I will honor." So if you honor God, God is also going to honor you. One thing that we always forget is that we don't live by ourselves, but it is God. Yeah. So if we realize that it is not we living by ourselves, but God instead, we try to honor God, because if you honor God, God is going to definitely honor you. Sometimes you might be placed, maybe say in school, and you think, okay, I'm here because I want to help maybe my parents after school. Then you find such obstacles along your way. Sometimes other people might drop out, maybe because it might not be the same case. Maybe because I didn't sit for my test, then the other person also decides to do the same. It might happen. Maybe they don't even clear, or maybe they are busy, and other sponsors that sponsoring those people, they even decide not to sponsor them. But what I believe is that if God had made you do something, and the plan that you're going to do it, you're definitely going to do it, and He's also going to open up other means. Sometimes it's not that you're going to do that very, because sometimes we human beings, the things that we want, not what we need or what God wants us to do. So sometimes we go in that in certain fields because of what we want. But sometimes there are going to be certain things that will happen that is going to bring us where God wants us to be. And maybe that was just maybe for some time to maybe shed light to other people. Then afterwards, God takes you to another field that He intended you to do initially. So what I believe is that once you stand for what you believe in, and you just place your trust upon God, God is going to sustain you. Yeah, sometimes we wonder, like, okay, if I don't do this, my family is going to suffer. God is the one who's been keeping them before even you were born. So I think He's still going to keep them and sustain them and provide means and ways so that those people continue to survive while waiting for His return.
Absolutely. So, one would be I'm going to ask you for your final words addressing two entities. First of all, addressing the church, and then secondly, addressing the school system with regards to the Sabbath and school conflicting. What would be your words to the church and to the school system?
My words to the church would be that they should continue to teach and shed more light. Other people might be doing certain things, maybe because they didn't understand what they believe in, and when such situations come about, they easily try to align with what has been presented on the table. Then the other issue should be that the school should also put into consideration that other people they should also respect their religious beliefs, especially in a country like Zambia, where we say Zambia is a Christian nation. People have different beliefs. Among them is the Sunday keepers. I don't also feel it to be okay for things to be scheduled on Sunday, because other people have also they want to dedicate time to their God because they believe that it is not them that have made themselves reach that far, but instead it is God. So they also want to have time to their God. So I think the school system should be align themselves to working through the 5 days of the week instead of trying to push more on weekends where people have to dedicate their time to their worship to God.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sister Abigail, for sharing your story and your experience, and also for your passionate appeal to the church and to the school system, as well as your words of encouragement to any viewer that is out there. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here today.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
So, to you, our dear viewers, I do hope that you have been encouraged by this wonderful testimony from Sister Abigail Mutelo. If you would like to find a community where you will be supported and receive the kind of encouragement that you have seen here, you can come and visit with us and worship with us physically here at the University Campus Fellowship at the University of Zambia main campus, or you can subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our next upload. Be blessed and stay blessed.